Now, reports said, and I want to make sure I get this right, Jalen Carter was offended at what he deemed hostile behavior from Dak Prescott. I'm going to let you have the floor and maybe explain what he might have been talking about.
Okay, you know, I do like to troll, and I think this was an electric troll by Dak Prescott. And as a guy who has two older brothers, if you look at what happened here, remember there was an injury. There was an injury on the kickoff, and when you roll this thing, Carter walks over there, Jalen's walking over, and he's talking smack, and I would too. He's the man, you know. Hey, I'm just going to intimidate these boys. I'm going to run my mouth a little bit. All of a sudden, Dak, he's the captain, comes over there, and it's like, I got to bow up. I can't let this guy walk over to our huddle. And he spits on the ground. And there's a moment of a look that Dak gives here when right here, you look at this, spits on the ground, and he giggles at him. Look at this little snarky grin. Yeah, little nod to him. Let's go. Let's go, big dog. Now, Jalen takes it way too far, and he's susceptible to stuff. Spits on him, totally offside, ejecting the game. This is my favorite part. He goes back and says, tell his boys, hey, I got him, Jay. Hey, this is a classic. We all know Jalen Carter has a bit of a history of being a hothead.
Yeah.
Okay, and you come out here and you say, okay, let's see if we can get under his skin. Jalen steps up there. Dak, you saw the snarky little grin on his face, like, let's see how Jalen handles this.
And he didn't handle it well. Now, we should say, before you saw that video, because we didn't see Dak spitting on the ground until way later in the game. Then we went back and saw, okay, this is different. But before you saw that, you thought, well, Carter's probably going to get suspended for multiple games. Do you still feel that way?
Absolutely. I'd be very surprised, and I'll tell you why. So every year, there's a point of emphasis in the offseason, and they always come in camp. This happens every single year, and it's awful for the players because it's usually week 2, and the refs will come in. And then they put on, I like this guy. He's a good guy. Troy Vincent. He's got that fancy title, player safety, player whatever. Troy comes in, and it's a recording, not Troy himself, and he'll say, this year's point of emphasis is the following. And it's a 15-minute video. Last year, if you remember, it was offensive linemen lining up off the ball. And you got to understand that these referees are like Pavlov's dog. They're trained. When you hear point of emphasis, anything remotely close. This year's point of emphasis was sportsmanship.
Wow.
Sportsmanship.
Wow.
So what do we do? And I'm telling you, all week you would have been hearing, don't do anything offside. Even the slightest taunt, you're going to get flagged. We start the game by spitting on another man. So if the NFL wants to be serious with the video that everybody saw, I have a hard time believing that they won't suspend him, because even if it's, and I think it is, but even if you want to argue it's not suspension worthy because Dak kind of, incited it.
Sure.
Based on the emphasis, I'd be very surprised if he wasn't suspended.
That piece of video is going to be broken down like the Zapruder film for the next 4 days on First Take. It was like, let's get to the game. It was a back and forth game. There was great momentum, and then we get the weather delay, and then it's kind of a slog after that. But what was really interesting, and you touched on it, Dak played great after that weather delay. He made some incredible throws, and it just shows you if CD isn't catching those things, it's like a slight, tiny margin for error for this Cowboys offense.
It is, Jay. I know you've heard me say this, but to win ball games based on how much talent you have, I always say the margin of error, the scale slides. Dallas's defense is not good.
Right.
That's just a fact. Offensively, they are good, and it's just a few plays that jam them up. The fumble here in the red zone is crucial, and Miles Sanders just can't happen. Again, you're down 4 here, and your quarterback makes a throw like this, and your best receiver, I know it's not easy to catch this football, but you got to do it. And then on 4th and 3 later on, this is another, and it's a diving catch, and I understand that, but when you look at this route concept, you've got Cooper DeJean versus CeeDee Lamb in man coverage. You got CeeDee in the slot. You give him a little bit of rub with Pickens. That's what dreams are made of. You got your main guy in man coverage, and he's laid out there for you. You got to make those plays, because on a team when your defense is this weak, if you don't make those plays or you have that red zone turnover, you're not going to win. And again, I do say there's a silver lining here for Cowboys fans, because George Pickens is going to continue to get better, more comfortable in there.
Made a great catch before CD dropped that last one.
He did, and I don't think CeeDee's going to continue with a bunch of drops. And honestly, I thought Javonte Williams and this young offensive line they've invested through the draft looked good. And Dak looked really good.
Dak looked awesome.
But again, with the defense, the margin for error is that thin because they're not very good.
Okay, we're going to talk about the other quarterback who happens to be the reigning Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. They get the win. They raise the banner. At the same time, and listen, every Eagles fan wants Jalen Hurts to be labeled as an elite quarterback, and there seems to be a hesitation with that for a lot of people, and maybe you're included in that, even after this victory.
Yeah, fun story. When we were flying back from the Super Bowl, someone came up to me in the airport. It's like, how'd you like that for Jalen? I'm like, I like Jalen. I've never had an issue with Jalen.
Why are people coming up?
Yeah, jamming me. I couldn't believe it. But anyways, it's a true story. So to me, you look at Hurts tonight, and it's just kind of the age-old story where the scrambles were electric. The guy was unbelievable making off-schedule plays. And really, the 2 touchdowns and the first downs, it's awesome to see. But as a coach, as an offensive coordinator, as a guy that has A.J. Brown on the team, A.J. Brown had 1 target, and it happened on the last drive of the game, and it was for 8 yards. A.J. Brown is really good at football. He should have more than 1 target. Devontae Smith is really good at football. I think he ended up with 3 for 16. His average was like 5.3 yards in their screens like that. So I challenge Eagles fans to sit there and say to yourself, can you remember 1 play, Jahan Dotson is the one, I gave you the answer, where he pushed the ball down the field today? And the answer is they had the shot to Jahan, which was a good throw, and that was it. Every other play, and if you take that out, every other receiver outside of A.J. Brown's 1 target for 8 yards, averaged 7 yards or less per reception. So it gets weird for me because he does so many great things, and you have such a great run game, and the O-line was humming. They were moving bodies everywhere, and they won. And he can win Super Bowls like this.
He did it.
But you just kind of want him to take that next step of, hey, I've got all these tools, but I also can sit back here and pick defenses apart with my arm. And if that causes me to get, a stern talking to in the airport this year, at the Super Bowl, so be it. But I just would love to see him, take that next step as a thrower.
It's weird because I think so many people agree with you, and secretly I think a lot of Eagles fans agree with you. Speaking of the Eagles, their longtime beat reporter from ESPN, Sal Paolantonio, had a chance to talk to Lane Johnson about the spit incident. You want to hear what he had to say?
I think I'm right.
Here we go.
How disappointed were you that you had a lot of stuff happen? The biggest thing was that Jalen Carter got disqualified for spitting on Dak Prescott.
Yeah, some of those situations is something you're going to have to learn from, and it's going to be a hard lesson learned. But anytime you don't have Jalen Carter on the field, that hurts everybody on the team. So, he'll learn from it, and we'll move forward.
Is it something where the team lead?
And by the way, Jason Garrett now is saying that he spoke with Dak Prescott after the game, and Dak Prescott said it was a misunderstanding. He just needed to spit. Because sometimes you just need to spit.
And you can't troll a troll. You cannot troll a troll, baby. And I'll say, it's unbelievable.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd say the same thing.
What is he going to say? Yeah, spit on him? Yeah, I meant to spit in his direction.
Misunderstanding. I didn't say it. I didn't spit,
Just needed to spit.
Again, I will say this. Jalen Carter, and he's a young guy, but he needs to understand how valuable he is to this team.
For sure.
And I get that you're fired up. Look at this is my face. I got to stop. Look at him, look at him, look at him. I have made that face many times recently on Twitter behind my phone. I'm telling you right now. And I can't get enough of it. He's telling us, boy, you won't believe what I did.
He loves going back to the sidelines.
He does.
Victory lap.
You can't wait to tell your buddies.
Now, we can only hope that Chiefs and Chargers in Sao Paulo on Friday night is going to be this exciting.
Yeah.
You're not going to be with me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I know you'll be trying to watch and check in on this. What are you expecting from this? It's always weird, right, when you're going away.
It's a division game. I think it'll be a tight game, 2 great coaches. But I want to say right now, Jay, don't fall victim. We talked about it on the chairs yesterday.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are still the real deal.
Yeah.
They are still the real deal. They are still loaded. It's a juggernaut team. I expect them to come out a little agitated with all the offseason rumors about him.
And we got Travis Kelce doing impressions of Patrick Mahomes.
That was a
weird voice.
That was awesome.
I mean, those are teammates that get each other,
Jay, I'm fired up right now. Football's back.
Dude, it's back, baby. You know what else is back? Almost.